Hello everybody, it's me TONIK TZW, and if you follow Zarkoon on YouTube for World of Warships Legends, you'll see that he's been out in the Kitakaze. It's a ship that I've been playing around with, but never been able to get the best out of. But having seen his video, I decided to take it out and give it another go. And as you can see from the splash screen there is a bit of a spoiler alert, because it is finally been christened with the blessing of the Kraken. But just to quickly run through the build and the captain and inspirations, we are running aiming systems mod 1, and then the second slot we've got steering gears mod 2 because it is a little unwieldy. Then we've got concealment systems mod 1, and then switching on we have got an epic main battery mod 3, which gives us a faster reload. We're running Takeo Kurita, who gives us some engine boost, with observant rage for reduced reload, mortar for some additional HE and AP damage, then perceptive to reduce our incoming damage and to give us some extra torpedo detectability, smoke on the water to give us an extra bit of smoke screen, and then I always run unstoppable on my legendary skills. And then we've got Eric Bay giving us some additional concealment, and William Sims, who is giving us some additional hit points. Now this is the bit that's changed. It's called Evil Sparks. It increases the HE penetration but reduces the amount of damage. Now I've played around using this, and yes, it is very effective, but I don't like being dead in the water, which is why I use Unstoppable. So I got a 2.4 second reload. Our torpedoes are very long there at 157 seconds. We run it at 37 knots with a 4.2 second rudder shift, and it's 5.8 concealment. So this is not a Fubuki or a Kamikaze. It is not a stealthy torpedo boat. This is a gunboat, and like the title screen says, this is a Japanese Daring. I don't think it's quite as good as the Daring. Obviously, you've got long smoke screens and you lack sonar. You've only got one salvo of torpedoes, but you do have 2 torpedo reload boosters. And we're going to try and make the most out of this game as far as we can. But like any game, you are reliant on your team. Now you might have seen at the start there that we have a Tirpitz B, and one of the things that, well, it just chews me with Black Friday is people could go out and drop all their money on crates and get a ship that they have absolutely no knowledge of playing. And another thing that annoyed me was the Missouri, but we'll come along to that in a little bit. So Tirpitz B, you know, if you've got the Tirpitz, then you know that somebody's actually ground up through the tech tree, and they've gotten probably gotten to the Bismarck and like playing the Bismarck, and they've saved up the global XP, and they've gone up and they've picked up the Tirpitz. But with the Tirpitz B, in fact any B ship, anybody can go and drop a ton of money on crates and get lucky and come away with a ship and take it into a game and not have a clue how to play it. There's also an Elbing out there. That's obviously somebody that's put a lot of time and effort into the game. We'll come across the Elbing in a little bit. Anchorage there. I'm wishing I had a cruiser, but knowing that I've got 2 battleships behind me, I'm going to try and get him spotted and keep him spotted. But I can see that there is a Z44 in the middle, and the Friesland is going to get onto him. The Friesland is going to play a very strong defense on the center there, but unfortunately he's going to come a little bit unstuck near the end. Now, because I've got significantly worse concealment than I'm normally used to playing with, I've come forward and then I've turned away. The Anchorage knows that he's spotted, which is why he's going to pop his smoke screen. Now you'd think that having a Tirpitz and a Missouri behind me would be beneficial, that they would have just slapped him with a full broadside and taken him off the map. But having fired my torpedoes and used my reload booster, I am absolutely annoyed with myself at this time, because I know that that Elbing is in the smoke screen right there. I do not want to tangle with him when there is an anchorage in a smoke screen behind him. The anchorage has got a plane up, and as I said, we've lost the Tirpitz. He went steaming forward and died to the Elbing's torpedoes. But now we've got the Missouri. I know he's got radar. I'm pinging the map. It would be great if he could ping his or pop his radar up while these are both in their smoke screen, because we can get some shots on them. Now I decide that I actually don't want to be stuck in the middle here, and I'm slowly creeping away. I'm watching for my torpedo reload indicator coming up. It's so painfully slow, it's unbelievable, and I see that the Kansas is pushing. Now I don't know what this Missouri is doing, but it would be really beneficial if he was to use the radar and light up this Elbing in the smoke screen. I don't know what the Elbing's doing in there, but you know what I say, if he's going to be a dope in a smoke, then we'll try and do something about it. And I'm trying to keep the anchorage spotted, but I don't want to get bumped by the Elbing. This Missouri, his radar is more than long range enough to pick up that destroyer. We get the anchorage spotted again. My torpedoes are up, and I decide, you know something, I'm just going to slap him through that smoke screen, and we'll see what happens. The Missouri is coming forwards, and there are torpedoes, so he can obviously see the Missouri. The Missouri should have known from all the pings on the map and everything that I've been doing that there was a destroyer there, and the fact that the Tirpitz disappeared that was beside him. So my torpedoes are running there, and it isn't until about now, there we go, there is the radar on, the Elbing is there, but no sooner is the radar being lit up than my torpedoes make a connection and the Elbing goes up for a dead strike. So I am going to lay onto this anchorage, try and get some guns onto him, try and get some fires. There we go, thinking that this Missouri will be able to make short work of the anchorage. Now, if you've been playing the game for more than a couple of months and you've got the anchorage, you'll know that it was there for rental, and a lot of people enjoyed playing it, and it's got torpedoes. So do you really want to be closing it down, or do you want to be playing it safe? Now I can't see the anchorage at the moment. I know that the battleship is running it in, so I'm turning my attention onto this Kansas. Now as I said, I'm not running evil sparks on this, so I'll get some HE damage, I'll get some fires, but I'm not going to get the penetration on this ship that I would if I ran evil sparks. But we are going to annoy him. We forced him to come away from pushing the cap, and we are going to stay focused on him. And I'm just going to let that Missouri do its thing and go charging towards that anchorage. If anything, he could have gone and bow into him and just rammed him straight out of a smoke screen. Chances are he might have survived. But the Kansas has decided he doesn't want to come this way anymore. We've got one kill on the board already, and we're going to stay on this guy. We've switched to armor piercing just to see how that performs against the superstructure, and we are bouncing a lot of shells, but we get the Kansas, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, here we go. Missouri's got this guy. Bang to rights. No, he is going to get torpedoed by the anchorage, and I'm like, great. How much health has he got left on him? Not a lot. Let's go back to high explosive. We know that we can go to pound town on this guy, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to come away from him, and we're going to stay on the guns and hopefully do enough damage to him that he is going to disappear as well. That is kill number 3. So I feel that if I hadn't fired all those torpedoes at the start, we could have potentially taken care of the Elbing a little bit earlier. We did what we could to keep the anchorage spotted, and now our team has very much been pushed back. We are at a disadvantage as far as points go, and at this point of the game, I'm thinking of pushing through and running for their cap. And to be honest, I think it should have been the decision that I stuck with. But seeing that the left flank, or rather the right side of the minimap, that flank has pretty much collapsed. There is a destroyer still out there. I think it's Air Black. And the Friesland looks like he is pushing forward too. As I said, he's held the centre of this map very well. We lose the Vanguard to, I think, was it Vladivostok? I can't remember what it was there. Not of Vladivostok. I didn't actually see what popped up on the screen, but we've lost the Vanguard. He was way out there on that flank on his own, and he is gone. We've got a full health Iowa. We've got a Richelieu. I know that there is a Bismarck out here as well. There is the destroyer, and in fact, I think it's a Petropavlovsk cruiser is out here somewhere as well. 4 ships, plays 5. And I'm just checking my gun range here, and I'm thinking, okay, we know that we wound up that Kansas very well, so what can we do about this Richelieu? He is getting absolutely rained on from every direction, from both destroyers and from the cruiser, who's using his wonderful traces that's just saying, hey, look at me, I'm being silly, everybody shoot at me with my wonderful yellow traces. But I'm just kiting, I'm watching the turrets on that Richelieu and just getting as much fire onto it as I can before I disappear behind this island, and he gets picked up by somebody else. How very kind of you. Now, I was looking to see where the Friesland is here and say, you know, push the cap. I think I can defend, because if we can get onto that cap, we can sit and hold it and hopefully pull a points advantage. And I can pull back here. Got these hard-hitting torpedoes and a lot of gunfire for starting fires, and we start to push down, but I think we are going to get the Bismarck spotted here. One thing about the Kitakaze is the torpedoes aren't very long range like the Shimakaze and the Adachi. I think they're about 8Ks, and that means you've got to get a little bit closer. And when there's some ships with big secondaries out here, and when there's the potential of a radar cruiser lighting you up when you're in range of that ship with big secondaries, there's not a great deal you can do to counter that. But the Bismarck runs into a cliff, and I'm trying to keep some fire going on him, but he drops detection. We lose our Bismarck to a fire. There is the destroyer out on the right side of the minimap, and as the Friesland pushes through, I'm thinking I need to come out of this smoke, see what I can do with this Bismarck, and then see if I can do something about that destroyer. So the cruiser is reliant on me spotting now. There we go, we can see his bow, we can get shots across the top, we can get so much fire onto this guy. Running an epic mod means we get a 2% reload reduction for every 30,000 damage, which means we've got 3 stacks so far. We're going to do what we can there to try and get a fire on him. We get a little bit unlucky, but we can't risk sitting in the way of those secondaries, because this cruiser is on his own and he has a destroyer hunting him down and the potential of another cruiser coming around the corner. The Iowa unfortunately takes care of the Friesland, so the idea of pushing onto the cap and trying to bring some points back our way, that failed sadly. Petro lights up his radar, and I'm quite grateful that I'm not in the way of the Bismarck secondaries here. So I'm turning away from where the radar is. I don't know how close he is because he's stuck behind the corner of that island. And so we want to try and pick up this destroyer and get rid of him. At the same time, I'm looking for where the Bismarck might appear, but there is the black, and so we have, solid guns on this. We narrowly avoid the torpedoes that he put out for us. The cruiser is onto him, I'm onto him, and we're just going to keep putting volley after volley onto this guy until such times as he disappears from the map. But the clock is ticking down against us as the black disappears. So we've got a full health Iowa, we've got a Bismarck that we know has damage controlled, we've got a Petropavlovsk, there's the Bismarck, and I don't think there was much hope of us winning the game from this point forward. There's the Petro, he is very low health. If I'd have been that cruiser, that's where my shots would have been going, but it looks like he has pulled back. So I'm trying to do what I can to help this cruiser potentially to survive an onslaught from this Bismarck, but it looks like he's going bow into it. That is not going to work against this Bismarck, I don't think. And the clock is down below 1 minute. We're on 4 kills. We've got this rapid reload on the go. We are absolutely smashing the shots out there, and we pick up Kraken number 151, but it isn't to be a victory. The Petro has run. The Iowa is still full health, and I think that cruiser is going to disappear to the Iowa. Why do people use these silly tracers? There we go. It is ridiculous. I can't get shots on. The clock's ticking below 15 seconds. The Buffalo is running in towards him, and I'm not actually sure if he dies here. But there we have, it's a good game, and it really is what I would class as a Japanese daring, perhaps not quite as good. But 108,000 damage, 5 kills, over 300 main gun hits there. And one of my friends did say to me, you will turn anything into a gunboat. Well, if Wargaming are going to give me a gunboat, I'm going to play it as a gunboat. And I think I'll be playing a little bit more of this. So I think I found a new tier 8 destroyer to take out alongside the Sumner. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you've got any questions about my build or my gameplay or anything like that, feel free to drop it in the comments. Kraken 151, don't forget, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and most of all, don't forget to take care of yourselves. Until next time, goodbye.